Hi, it's Miles Red Songbird, the Michelle Birdsong in New York City. You're looking at a notice that says Talk and Share Method of Overcoming Grief, an ebook by the Michelle Birdsong at Amazon Kindle.store. Now, I wrote that ebook for Sing Birdsong, my son, because his father, Edwin Birdsong, just passed away. But you can benefit from the book because it will help anyone who is overcoming grief or trying to overcome grief by just answering those questions. It's just like the sun in the sky shines light for his daughter Evangeline and his son Jesus Christ, Gurinder Singh, and his wife Mary. But the rest of the world can benefit from the light because it's enough for everyone, but it's meant for his son and daughter. Okay, I wanted to mention that Robin called me from the funeral. This is Robin Birdsong, Edwin Birdsong's daughter. That's Michelle Birdsong, his wife, earlier. And she said that she had burst out crying in Elzada's arms. Elzada Williams is Edwin's sister. And she said that Elzada held onto her so tight and so lovingly. She was just able to explode her grief out in tears. And I wasn't there, and I was so grateful that Robin has such a good aunt as Elzada Williams. And then I'm reminded of Edwin's other sister, Linda Williams, who once gave me a book called Your Erroneous Zones by Dr. Wayne Dyer, who has since transitioned. He said he was looking forward to the adventure of death. And I think that's a programming. I think people who look forward to death are programmed that death is a satanic thing, that the Lord is about giving and sustaining life, and Satan is the opposite of the Lord, so he's about inviting death. So, but the book, the point is the book was very helpful, and it started me down the road to reading philosophy by different self-help gurus that helped me, including Tony Robbins, which was tremendous help, and Brian Tracy, and others. After I read The Erroneous Zones by Dr. Dyer, I read I'm Okay, You're Okay, and I learned about premises and reasoning. He was a psychologist. And I want to thank Linda Williams for turning me on to a path of teachers that helped get me ready for the Radhaswami teachers, Charan Singh and Jagat Singh and Gurinder Singh, who is now the spiritual teacher, the emperor of the cosmos, the son of the sun, who is the architect of heaven on earth, which is what is going on now. Okay, was that all I needed to say? Yeah. Oh, I wanted to mention that when I was living, after Edwin's father transitioned, Edwin and the kids and I went to California to be with his mother and for the funeral. And I stayed with the kids to keep her company. And Edwin went back to New York and made a baby with another woman, but I didn't know that part. I just thought he was touring with his buddy Roy Ayers, which I wrote a song with Roy Ayers called Pretty Brown Skin. And the end said, beauty's not out, it's within. And Roy changed it to be politically correct, to say that being black is beautiful and all of that. Whereas Dr. King said, don't judge by the color of your skin, judge by the content of your character. So that's what I was trying to say in Pretty Brown Skin. black people or brown-skinned people can have just as much character development as white people can have. You know, it doesn't matter what color your skin is. You don't have to be petty and mean and jealous-hearted and angry and bitter and all the other satanic traits. Okay, now I'm going to read part 3 of the human beings or being reptilian Illuminati. Okay, this 1 and 2 is already on YouTube. Now I'm reading 3. Let me try to get comfortable. Okay, here we are. Gary Byrd, Imhotep, Ptolemy, poet, disc jockey. WBAI, WBLS, and WLIB has been serving people for the past 10 years. Ill people. He's been serving very sick people. Physically sick people. He has even brought some of them into his home to take care of them. Sometimes when they're dying, he's had to manage their bowel movements. He lost his partner too, his woman. Recently, he lost his friend of 45 plus years, Edwin Birdsong. He was not able to pay his last respects by going to Edwin's funeral in Los Angeles, city of lost angels, because his daughter Zakia was dying in Atlanta, Georgia. Ptolemy's most important works, which have survived, is the Almagest, which is a treatise in 13 books. Its original Greek title translates as a mathematical compilation, but this title was soon replaced by another Greek title, which means the greatest compilation. Ptolemy was a Greek mathematician, and this was Gary Byrd's other identity. Oh, excuse me. Okay, this was translating into Arabic as Al-Majestic, and from this the title Almagest was given to the work. I may not be pronouncing it correctly, but that's what it seems to be. When it was translated from Arabic to Latin, the Almagest is the earliest of Ptolemy's works. This is the way you spell Ptolemy. The P is silent. Okay. The Almagest is the earliest of Ptolemy's works and gives in detail the mathematical theory of the motions of the sun, moon, and planets. Excerpts from the Ptolemy biography, www.groups.dcs.st-and-AC-UK. Ptolemy developed mathematical astronomy. Astronomy decoded. As Saint Her Mildred ordered no math for I. I, Her Mildred, a Saint Mildred ordered no math. Okay? So the most confirmed, now when I say confirmed, that means the phone rang to indicate that this is true. Okay? The most confirmed recent accusations of forgery made against Ptolemy came from Newton in 12. He begins his book by stating clearly his views. This is a story of a scientific crime. I mean, a crime committed by a scientist against fellow scientists and scholars, a betrayal of the ethics and integrity of his profession that has forever deprived mankind of fundamental information about an important area of astronomy and history. Now, astronomy was the same as astrology at that time. Towards the end, Newton, having claimed to prove every observation claimed by Ptolemy in the Almagest, was fabricated. Fabricate, dead, confirmed. So your fabric is that which you've eaten, okay? And people eat the dead. So the fabric of the most of the population of this world is dead, that of the dead. What is that? The Walking Dead, Night of the Living Dead? Ptolemy mapped the heavens. Let me try and get this situated. Map the heavens. What have I got? Okay. Mathematically, as though it was fixed, stationary, but it is constantly changing. I watch the sun in the sky. He is constantly recreating himself, and so is the sky. I call it a natural art because so often the skies are majestic in appearance. Ptolemy gave us a measured firmament, so we are stuck with the coordinates of Ptolemy's of thousands of years ago instead of astrologers and astronomers observing the anatomy of the heavens as it is today. Newton writes, Ptolemy developed certain astronomical theories and discoveries that were not consistent with observation. Instead of abandoning the theories, he deliberately fabricated observations from the theories so that he could claim that the observations proved the validity of his theories. In every scientific or scholarly setting known, this practice, I digress, had I listened to my husband, Michael John Spear, Albert Spear, and to my then friend, Mary Queen of Scots, Linda Llewellyn, and aborted my daughter, had Jason, Linda's son, not come over to our apartment, gotten sick, and prevented us from going to the abortionist that my husband, without my knowing, had made an appointment with, and I had aborted my daughter, Melanie L. Spear, 4 saints would not have been born. Shiv Dayal Singh Ji, Uncle Sam, sure, that's Mr. Rogers, Alexander Graham Bell, Seth Ranzinger. Jamal Singh is the 2nd saint who would not have been born. Uncle Sam, Shirley Temple Black, my mother, I would not have been born. Yes, this is a movie counterpart. This is a counterpart, the movie, It's a Wonderful Life moment. Dr. Martin Luther King, so that's Jandar Ranziger would not have been born. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., poet Saint Mirabai, Lou Ranziger would not have been born. These are the children of Melanie L. Spear. Had I aborted her, she wouldn't have had these children. The world wouldn't have had these children. Saint Kabir, Hiawatha, Ostara Gloria, my great-grandmother, my grandmother, Melanie L. Spear, Mildred Kendricks, the mother of 4 saints who would not have been born. My mother, the saint, were born me, the mother of 4 saints. My mother, the saints, wouldn't have born me, the mother of 4 saints. I'm the mother of 4 saints too, right? St. John the Baptist, these are the children that I birthed. Sardar Bahadur Jagat Singh, St. Francis of Assisi, and St. Patrick, who was Melanie L. Spear, All of these important good saints would not have been born had my mother succeeded in aborting me. Guru Nanak, founder of Sikhism, the religion that did not discriminate against women, nor did we subscribe to the caste system. Charan Singh ate with untouchables, and he was the king. The Sikhs confirmed had empathy. They did not go along with the program of killing or eating that which had been killed by butchers. The Sikhs believed in having a living, breathing guru, spiritual teacher, as did the Radhaswami masters of Sikh heritage. That's why they kept taking births after births, because they knew there is very few advanced souls. Those who realized they were gods, as Jesus said, "Ye are gods," meaning the humans. Humans decoded. Heaven, you, mansions. The body is a temple, the mansion of the living God. The body is a temple of the living God. You've heard that in the Bible. Okay. There are several mentions of the fact that the human is God and his body is heaven or hell. From the Bible, in my Father's house are many mansions. The body is a house. My Father's house are many mansions. Man, sea, eye sex, mild red, ordered, nature's secrets. Mansions decoded. Mansions are states of being. Okay, they're not physical brick and mortar places. Mansions. Man-sea chums. Man-sea chums. Sea human sons. S-O-N-S, S-U-N-S. See her, mild red, songbird. What is that? She or he, will of the will of daughter, head, red head, confirmed. When I was younger, they said my hair was sandy colored. It's kind of red. His energy ad, confirmed. Son, Gary Byrd. Gary Byrd was my son in a past life. Gary Byrd is Ptolemy, therefore Ptolemy was my son in a past life. Byrd, that means made a mistake. Erred, made an error. Aristotle said evil is simply error. Aristotle was one of the ones with Ptolemy who believed the world was revolved around by the sun, and that wasn't true. Hitler, Stevie Wonder, had a hit, very superstitious. When you believe in things that you don't understand, this is a line from the song, and writings on the wall is another line from the song. Note, I have writing and pictures on my wall. You see? See the writing? I have writing and pictures on my wall. Okay? Gary Byrd, Ptolemy, asked Charan Singh to initiate Hitler. I got a picture here of Hitler. Oh, there it is. This is Hitler. This is at Edwin Birdsong's funeral. Okay, that's Hitler, Stevie Wonder. That's Robin. Birdsong, having no idea that's Hitler. Hitler might not even know that's Hitler. Although Charan Singh said, we know what we are. And this is Hitler's daughter, Sophia Morris. His name is Stevie Morris. Steve from St. Eve, who took my name. Eve, mother of the earth. So, where am I? Gary Byrd, Ptolemy asked Charan Singh, the perfect living master of Jesus Christ of the 20th century, to initiate Hitler, Stevie Wonder, to be the ransom until he's paid off his bad karma and he can return to heaven, the ocean of bliss. Charan Singh said no, he didn't tell Gary Byrd that Stevie Wonder was Hitler. He just said no. Gary Byrd already knew that Charan Singh doesn't initiate blind people, because in order to make progress on the path of the masters, you have to love the master with all your heart, with all your mind, and with all your soul, your body, everything. And a blind person loves wanting to see. They long to see. They don't long for the Lord. Charan Singh also said, if you spend your life searching, it's not time wasted. Breasts, these are hanging breasts. Breasts as saints, energy, daughter, mild red, desire. Teeth. Wasaw, Ted. Was, saw, Ted. T-E-D, Ted. Was, S-A-W, saw, Ted. Saw Ted Baxter. That's from Mary Tyler Moore Show, counterpart. Was counting his teeth. I wrote a speech poem about teeth. I guess I desire teeth, real teeth, or I have to learn to accept false teeth, though I don't like the look of false teeth in a glass of water. I can't believe I'm walking around New York City with so many teeth missing. Mom's Mabel, that's because people care so much about appearance, but the homeless almost all have missing teeth. I noticed that about the homeless. I said in my writing group the other day, when I get money, I'm bringing dentists to the bottom so they can fix the teeth of the homeless. Okay? Mom's Mabley performed without teeth. She was an excellent comedian. I was Gracie Allen in a past life. My husband, Michael John Spear, was George Burns projected. Robin talks about how often Michael and I joked and laughed together when we were married, but most of it was sarcasm and dark humor and self-deprecating. Besides, Michael lives in St. Francis of Assisi's patronage city, San Francisco. Do they honor the saint? No. Do they pray to him? No. Or are they as lost to him as the lost angels in Los Angeles? I never tire. I don't like that kind of humor anymore. I never tire of watching Adam doing his silly Super Bowl commercial about Bublé versus Bubbly. Michael Bublé's, and that's Adam is Michael Bublé. Michael Bublé's world tour begins in 3 days. He keeps tweeting that to me. I'm due to have twins in 3 days. I barely have taxi fare from the hospital, let alone dough to buy teeth, even if a dentist could make them by February 19th when he comes to Madison Square Garden. I only know my father, the Son, told me I'm beautiful, not to worry. So I will not worry. I will be happy. Do I need to finish the Judgment Day judgment of Ptolemy? Yes. I'll get to that in a minute. I just want to say that Robin told me earlier today that Singh is going to pay for me to get teeth. So isn't that nice? You see, there's a synchronicity. I'm wanting teeth. Michael Murdoch, Dr. Mike Murdoch says, his St. Paul, the apostle says, what you want is wanting you. So, Michael Bublé said, America is full of tight asses. Does he mean they're constipated? Meat, fish, and egg eating will make you unable to let go of no longer needed food for thought. The unnecessary will have a hard time exiting that, your tiny assholes, unless you drink coffee, confirmed, and eat fruit like grapes and grains like corn on the cob. What was the meaning of Michael Bublé appearing to be about to suck the top of the corn on the cob? Did he not escape the high price for fame, the pain of fucking Canadian asses Paul Anka and David Foster, then sucking their dicks, thereby eating their shit? Shit. See hit. See hit. Tied at the hip. Shit fit. Gary the other night on the phone said he'll never forget the night Edwin and I and he and Shatima were attending a birthday party for another DJ, Jerry B, on WWRL in New York City. Jerry Bledsoe. Everybody was drinking alcohol and getting to be out of their minds. That's what happens when you drink alcohol and do drugs. The four of us went outside for air. Gary Shatima, Edwin and I. Gary Shatima and I are on the path of the masters. We've taken a vow not to take any mind-altering drugs. That includes alcohol. And Edwin didn't drink either, although he altered his mind smoking the 400 elements of stuff in marijuana. I just want to say that Gary said he remembers that in the silence as the four of us stood outside, I said, "Did you hope to be happy?" And Gary loved that. He thought that absolutely explained everything. Near those people inside were all middle-class black people, and they had every reason to be grateful and content and happy. And there they were getting themselves out of their minds drinking alcohol. Just, because they know that alcohol exists, hip, being aware of, knowledgeable, and they couldn't let it go. That's too hip to be happy. Okay, so Edwin used to smoke marijuana. That's why he did a dumb thing like throwing away his golden goose, his family, Singh, Robin, and me, for Stevie Wonder, who turned out to be the last straw. The one that broke Edwin's will to live when he realized he'd spent almost 50 years sucking up to his meal ticket, his ticket to rubbing elbows with the big time, only to find out he'd been looking up to dirt. Hitler was dirt. In addition to being Hitler, Steve's father was a pimp and his mother was a hoe. So he believes he has to buy pussy. His other daughter, Lyric Wonder, who was Sarita Wright's daughter, Steve's first wife, says that Steve buys an apartment or a townhouse for every girl he sleeps with. Didn't he get some girl pregnant while he was married to another girl? Yes. I think he got twins. Gary used to hang out with Hitler. Steve, he probably still does, and he does. Robin told me today Gary still talks to Steve on the phone. I had turned Gary and Shatima onto the path. So my point is that Edwin and Gary followed their god, Stevie Wonder, and had babies with other women while they were still married, the same as Steve did. You see, birds of a feather flock together. This is Mild Red Songbird in New York. I'll give you more about Ptolemy and Gary Byrd and how he wrecked astrology, which was supposed to be very beneficial to us, help us make decisions and understand life, on the next video. Okay, so long.